Welcome to today's mini yoga practice. This practice is going to be done seated down on the floor. So if you just want to get yourself comfortable on the ground. Legs extended out in front. And bring your hands onto the floor just behind you if you want to. Or you can rest your hands on your legs, so it really doesn't matter. We're just going to start with the feet and kind of work our way up the legs. So feet a little bit wider apart. And then you're just going to spread the toes, point the toes as you wind the feet around into lovely circles. So really getting the sense of all the skin on the feet starting to open up, the soles of the feet, spreading and broadening. And the tops of the feet having a nice stretch as well, from the ankles right down into the tips of the toes. And then change direction, go the other way. So not only are you working your feet, you're winding through the ankle joints, getting a lovely juicy movement through the muscles in the lower legs. You might notice your calf muscles and your shin bones are quite active here. There's something going on in your knees as well, because your kneecaps, all the muscles around the knees, and even right up into your thighs. You might sense there's something going on in your thigh muscles. That continues right up into your hips. And you might even notice something going on in your sitting bones and your buttocks. You're just tuning into that lovely connection between your feet and your hips and your lower spine. So there's no cut-off point between the body, it's all one organic unit, and you can sense this. Just if it's just a little subtle something going on in the buttocks, the hips. And then let your feet relax. Just notice how that feels. Then we're going to roll the legs in and out and take mine a little bit wider. So the legs roll in and out. And you're trying to get the movement to come right up into the top of the thigh at the hip. So you're not just sort of twisting from the knee. The whole of the thigh is rolling in and out. And if your knees bend, that's absolutely fine. Let them bend. And it really is about the inner thighs, the outer thighs, right into the hip. So we're just unwinding any tension. And then just come back to center. Again, if you need to lean back on your hands, that's fine. Now we're going to tap the legs into the floor. Can you see I'm alternating right, left, right, left, right, left. So the back of the legs. The heels actually stay on the floor. You're just tapping the back of the calves, the back of the knees, the back of the thighs, wherever you can sense, just tapping. And keep that going. You're just stimulating the blood vessels and the nerves, a little bit of grounding through your legs. And there might come a point on your legs, you're going, right, that's enough. But see if you can just override that, if you can. Just tap, tap, tapping, again, just stimulating, getting that energy flowing. Lovely. 3, 2, and 1, and just stop. And just notice how that feels, any sensations there in your legs. You just get that vibrancy flowing again through the feet and the legs. Enjoy a couple of breaths here. Excellent. And I'd like you to bring the soles of the feet together into cobbler. And reach around and take hold of your feet or your ankles or your shins, wherever you can comfortably reach. And we're going to have a little tip from sitting bone to sitting bone. I spin myself around. So again, just a little tip from one hip to the other. And wherever you go, hold your feet, your ankles, your shins. And just noticing how high you can lift one hip off the floor, how high you lift the other. Keeping your neck and shoulders comfortable, so notice if you're hunching your shoulders up around the ears. You don't need to do that, you can just let them drop down, and there's that little tip from side to side. So one sitting bone lifts clean up off the floor, then the other. And we're starting to open up through the inner hips, the inner thighs, and in the whole of the pelvic floor space. And the pelvic floor goes from pubic bone at the front to tailbone at the back, from one sit bone to the other. So there's like a basket of kind of hammocky muscles all underneath that space. Now that supports the pelvic organs and the lower spine, the pelvic floor, just getting a bit of space there. Because we know that it's important to strengthen the pelvic floor muscles. You know, pelvic floor squeezes are really helpful to keep everything strong and toned. But it's also important to let them open up and stretch as well. If the pelvic floor muscles are just constantly tight and contracted, that can cause as many problems as if they are weak and never strengthened. So finding that balance, in yoga we call that sthira sukha, the balance of strength and softness. So we're just opening up into that space. A few more little rocks. Because the pelvic floor muscles are actually working to sort of balance your ear as well. There's a lot going on. And then bring yourself back to center. Again, take a breath in and a breath out. Extend your left leg out in front. I'm going to spin to the side a little. So your left leg is out in front. The right leg is tucked in. I'm just going to have a little hinge forward, not too far, just a little lean forward and then come back out. And extend your right leg out as well. So both legs in a little V, not too wide, no need to overstretch. And again, a little lean in, little lean forward. And back up, bend your left leg, left knee bends, left foot tucks in. And again, a little hinge forward and back. Now we're going to bring both feet back into cobbler. Little lean forward and back. We're going to keep that going. So left leg extends out, right leg remains bent, little hinge. And this is about the hips and the lower back and the back of the legs. And back, both legs straight in a little V, little hinge. So keep it gentle, left leg then bends, little hinge. Both feet back in. You can even use your elbows if you want to, just to widen your knees out. Keep that going, left leg extends. So it's just a rocking. You're not forcing anything, just rocking. And rocking and cradling is a lovely thing to do for the body. If you have a baby that's upset, the natural, instinctive thing to do is just gently cradle it. You can't force a baby to relax and go to sleep. You'd soothe it. And it's the same with the body. You can't force the body to relax and release. The little rocking movements and soothing, just encouraging the body to become a little softer, particularly the usual tight areas in the legs, the hips, the lower back. You can adapt that. Just breathing, just rocking, that's all you're doing. Excellent. We're going to go through one more round. Into cobbler, and then one more round, left leg, both legs. Tuck the left foot back in. And then the right foot back in. Lovely. Excellent. And then come into a comfortable seat. So if that's cross-legged, if that's a good place for you, then just settle there. If it's not, just take your legs out into that little V again. As long as both sitting bones are even on the surface. Relax into the shoulders and take a couple of breaths. Just notice where your feet touch the floor, where your legs touch the ground. You can soften down into your groins. And your lower back from the back of the waist just kind of slides down. Keep that rooted down as if your spinal cord from the back of the waist, your spinal cord is sending roots down through your tailbone, down into the earth as invisible roots, just keeping you rooted. And we're just going to just ease out the upper body a little. This is mainly about the legs today, so you could just sit, but just take your hands in a little fist, circle the wrists just a few times one way, and then a few times the other way. And then open up the hands, give the hands a nice stretch, and give them a little shake. Fingertips to shoulders, you just circle the elbows just to ease off any tension in the shoulders there. The squeezy stretch of all those shoulder muscles, shaking off the stress of the day, of the week, of the month, of the last few years. Just ease it all off. And then let your hands rest. And again, just notice how that feels, your hands, shoulders. Relax your jaws. You might even do your jaw a little stretch, and your nose and your eyes, and stretching out your face in whichever way. And rest your eyes. Close them if you're happy to. Relax your jaws. And imagine gravity settling down from your shoulders all the way down the torso, so the skin on the torso kind of slides down from the chest, the back, down through the ribs, down into the belly softens and gliding down through the back of the waist, again settling your roots down, softening the groins. But notice how the front of the spine can effortlessly lengthen up out of the hips, bringing lightness to the heart and the head. Just be with your breath here. Just notice that you can breathe in and you can breathe out. And I invite you to rest here in your own presence for at least another minute or so. Keeping your face soft, jaws relaxed, shoulders quiet, and just being with the flow of your breath, settling down into your roots. And I will leave you here with my deepest gratitude. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace.